Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is some extra content from the Trudge Report, along with Danny P, representative of the Yukon Huskies, official representative, I think I might add. We talked in the last two podcasts and a little bit in our description how we're going to start bringing some extra content to things separate from the main podcast, and this is the first go of it. This is something I wanted to do last year with Dan, and we just kind of never got around to it. But Dan and I are both avid college basketball fans, so we wanted to get in a week or so before Selection Sunday, and we're going to probably get in one more either right on Selection Sunday or just before it as well. Once all the conference tournaments are wrapped up and everything, we kind of see who all the automatic qualifiers are, and then we'll bring you a few more of these episodes, little mini-sodes, if you will, to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook channel throughout the NCAA tournament. So, and then probably one to wrap up. So, Dan, good evening. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm good. We got a nice UConn win. I'm also sporting my Final Four UConn 2003 that I was at in Houston shirt tonight as a little good luck charm for our first college basketball pod going. And
There you
happy to
go.
be here with
There you
my buddy
go.
Sean.
UConn did have a big win. I think you were saying first blowout win of the season just before we started recording.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Against an actual team, not
Right.
someone from like Division 3 or a local Connecticut school.
Right. Very good. Well, good stuff, man. So we kind of I kind of want to go. We had a lot of games today. There were some really important bubble games that already happened. There's some important bubble games that are happening tonight and as we speak that we're not going to really know the outcome of while we're recording this, but we do want to kind of touch on conference by conference, the power conferences, and then maybe like Mountain West and stuff, a couple of the other strong non-power conferences, and then we want to go around and just kind of do bubble teams, who's first in the tournament, last four in, first four out, who's gonna avoid the initial, I forget. Oh God, the round robin. What do they do in the beginning? What do they
Yeah,
call them?
the
The first,
play-in in
the
Dayton.
play
Yeah.
in. Yeah, thank you. They're
Yeah.
gonna avoid the play in Dayton, Ohio, and who's gonna likely be in the play in Dayton, Ohio. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these, um, like the lower conferences, they're in the middle of their conference tournaments right now. So some of those winners, some of those champions will be automatic qualifiers that we don't know who they are going to be yet. Like I believe the Ohio Valley Conference actually finished today, and we'll try to get those results while we're recording tonight. And I know there's more tomorrow and throughout the week, but it's a fun time if you're a college basketball fan. It's a very fun time. This is when all the diehard fans are paying attention to everything, but this is also when like the not so diehard fans are also kind of coming to you and um, starting to really pay attention. So, anything you want to start with, Dan? Real
Yeah, I
quick.
was gonna say this is that time of year for those people on the bubble to root for the favorites in all the non-power conferences because those
Yes,
are the bid stealers, man. When the 13 and 18, Hofstra comes in and
you're
wins the
absolutely right.
tournament, then that team that's 22 and 4 or whatever that's gonna get in as a at large bid. That's where
Hmm.
you lose them because the big conferences are pretty set up. It's
Yeah,
just those upsets are the real.
most of the Power Five, or I guess it's Power Four conferences now.
Yeah.
No, I guess it's still Power Five in uh, in college basketball because you have the Big East, but um, most of, like you said, the power conferences, the teams that are in for the most part are going to stay in. They're
Mhm.
just now playing for seeding, right? Are they going to go up a seed, down a seed? But there are a few. My Tar Heels, my UNC Tar Heels have a huge game
They're gonna
tonight.
make it, man. They're coming. They're gonna do it. I really
Well,
feel it.
I mean, we are in North Carolina, so that's always a good thing. But we are playing the number two team in the country, and some might argue should be the number one team in the country. Hasn't been a great year for my Tar Heels, but we're on like a crazy winning streak lately. We are also playing a pretty soft conference. The ACC is not very strong this year, and it usually is extremely strong. But yeah, so right now, as of this morning, as of Joe Lenardi's bracketology, we were still the first team out. So I don't believe a loss tonight would change that necessarily and put us further out but a win would obviously put us in. I would have to believe a win over Duke and the number 2 team in the country would have to put us in. And then if not, if we do lose, then our only hope really is making a deep run in our ACC conference tournament. Yes, we could win the ACC conference tournament and get an auto bid. I think if we win tonight though and don't do well in the conference tournament, I still think that probably puts us in because of the nature of the win we have, but we'll see. So I think we got to win tonight and make a semi decent run in the conference tournament.
Yeah, and I just look at what we sent this morning. Joe Lenardi's last four in. One of the teams is, or two of the teams, Indiana and Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Indiana ended up winning or not, but they played OSU today.
Indiana, here, I got it right here. I was
Okay.
just looking at that.
Yeah.
I know Auburn lost today to Alabama, so not
Yeah.
so sure. We'll get to that, but I'm not so sure that really means anything for
I
them.
don't
But
think so. Yeah.
I think they did lose today. Indiana did beat. I can report they did beat Ohio State 66-60.
Oh
So
man, they were
Indiana
looking so.
should safely be in now. Then
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they were already in, right? You just said they were first
Yeah.
four in or
Last
last four in.
last four in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they would be in the play-in.
yeah. So
Um.
the other big one, and we'll get a little more organized with this, but the other big one is Oklahoma Texas tonight. Both teams
Yes.
are. I think
Yes.
Oklahoma is first.
Oklahoma's in, and first four out is Texas.
Yeah, Texas in the first round. So big game there. You got to think whoever win. If Texas wins that game, that might just flip on its head. Um,
Oklahoma's 5-12 in conference, man. I just don't see how that team gets in.
do you remember how they started the season?
I don't remember. No.
I think they were the last here. I'll look at it right now. They were the last undefeated team.
Oh yeah, because they're 2-7 in their last nine.
Let's see. They were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They were 13-0 before they started conference play and immediately lost to Alabama by like 30 points. So
Yeah,
I
that's
get it. You're in non-con, but they did beat in the non-con. They beat at the
yeah,
time number 24 Michigan, or I guess it's ranked now, but they beat
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah.
They beat Oklahoma State, who obviously turned out not to be great. They beat Georgia Tech and Louisville. They beat Arizona. Remember,
Mhm.
Arizona got off to that slow start.
Yeah,
Louisville's ranked right now. Arizona still is. So they had some good quality non-con wins,
yeah,
you know, but yeah, that's wild. That's wild. And as of now, I think the SEC still has like 13 teams
yeah.
in the bracket, which could get whittled down to 11 or 12, but they still have 13 teams. So
SEC had 12. It said in the bracket from this
right,
morning.
right. So all right. So let's so like to all of our listeners, none of this gets edited because this is separate from the podcast and none of us Trudge Report boys know how to edit anything. So if we screw something up
Yeah,
or we mispronounce something or misspell something or get something completely wrong, tough noogies, get over it. Feel free to shout it in our mentions and tell us we were wrong, but um we're just gonna fire away. So let's go. Dan, I got screenshots of everything here.
yeah,
So at let's start with the SEC. So as of right now, the SEC has 12 as of this morning actually from
yeah,
Joe Lunardi, they have 12 teams in the conference, right? They
yeah.
have 12 teams in the NCAA tournament.
You want me to? I
So
wrote down their seeds, like the seeds.
perfect. Go ahead. Shout them out.
Yeah, so I got Auburn and Florida are ones. Got Tennessee as a two, Kentucky's a four, Missouri's a five, Mississippi State is an eight, Vandy's a nine, Ole Miss is a seven, and Arkansas is an 11. 11, I think, is playing game. I'm not sure though.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be historic because the Big East set the record in what was that like 2009 or something
Mhm.
with 11
Yeah.
11 teams. So if they
When
match
you think
that
about the
again,
teams now, man, it was basically the ACC Big East,
oh, for sure.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like all those teams.
well, even think about the Big 12. The Big 12 was always like the
Oh, the
deepest
pack. Yeah.
conference in college
Yep.
basketball for so long, and it still is like a pretty damn good conference. Don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
think they have 8 teams in as of right now. The Big 12 does
Yeah.
so. And they're not even they're the third strongest. So the Big Ten has 10 teams. They're the third strongest. But let's
Yeah. Big
before
10's
we
one.
do that, let's go back. Let's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
start with the SEC. So we don't think that Auburn is going to get knocked off that one line, right?
No.
We're pretty sure
Yeah. I think
they're going
Florida
to get
too. I think Auburn and Florida are locked.
right. Okay. So Auburn, you think Florida's a lock too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think because of what they've done now, what I mean, they now have everyone healthy, and the committee has seen what they're, what I mean, what they look like healthy. To me, like
Yeah.
that's down the road,
Yeah.
but like they look like the best team.
Yeah. I would agree with that. All right. So we got Florida and Auburn. Go ahead. Who's the next SEC team? Highest
Tennessee
ranked
is a
team.
two.
Tennessee's a two. I don't see them coming off the two line at all.
No, nope.
Dude, Tennessee. I know they've had a couple losses, but like they're good, man. And I think they're very well coached. I think Chaz Lanier,
Yeah.
Meshack, what's the other guy's name?
Who's the
Ziegler,
point
Zakai
guard?
Ziegler.
Yeah, Ziegler. Yeah,
Meshack,
yeah,
Lanier's like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Um,
And they've been there.
they've been there. You're right. Half that team, if not more, has been there last year. And I think they play really tough defense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just something about them that I really like. But I agree with Florida. Florida's strong. Auburn, something's weird, right? It,
Right?
it, it
Right,
seems like
man.
they're
I'd say
destined.
thing. Yeah, like they look on paper and you watch them, length, everything, like they're so good. But something just does not scream like it's not, a Purdue and UConn last year where you just had these heavyweights that you said that are just good. That's what I don't feel that with them.
Right. There just feels like they're destined to be like an early exit from the tournament. Maybe not
Yeah,
first round. I'm not saying they're going to get upset by a 16 seed, but like they get upset in the round of 32 or the round of 16 or something like
yeah,
that. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Because it feels like they're just going to take somebody light, man, and then
Yeah,
that's
to like
they're going to
to like a
sneak on them.
really good, I could see like a Kansas team having a night, and we can get to Kansas, but I can see a Kansas team having a night. I
Yeah,
could see like an Arizona as much as I don't love
yeah,
Caleb, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I just can see um St. John's is in the same
mm,
uh
yeah.
division as Auburn is, so that's going to be a fun game to watch. Michigan State's in the same, so like they're gonna have
I think
some
what
tough
kind of
roads
threw
there.
threw threw me for something too, man, was when Florida went into Auburn and spanked them.
Yeah, you're right.
Like that was like that to me was like if you're the team, you can get beat, but they got spanked.
And don't forget, Duke beat them early in the year too.
That's it, you know
So
what I mean? Like just those little things. Like usually a team, you get beat by like, 5, maybe 10
mhm,
points or something. Like they got beat.
yeah. All right, so we got Auburn, Florida, Tennessee. Who's the next highest ranked SEC team?
Kentucky actually, number 4.
Same old story with Kentucky. They
Yep.
can score a zillion points, but they can't
Yep.
play great defense.
No defense, man.
And credit to Mark Pope. I think he's done an excellent job replacing what he had to replace, and I mean, almost an entirely new roster.
I think top tier, man. I mean, like probably like should be a candidate for coach of the year. Like that's incredible
Yeah,
to follow that him Calipari leaving and all that jazz and getting all new players. Like that's impressive.
yeah. No, I would agree with that. Um, I just don't know. The defense. They have a lot of freshmen on that team.
Yeah,
Not that it can't be done, but
I like that point guard though. Oh way,
yeah, Otega Owe.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're good.
He's
Okay,
good.
who's next in the SEC?
Oh, we got your boy with the haircut, number 5 on the 5 line, Mr. Grill.
Oh, Cody Grill or whatever. Missouri.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
Missouri.
they lost today.
Yeah, who'd they play? They played oh man, I forgot who they played, but yeah, I saw that.
Florida.
Oh no, they got beat by
Florida.
Kentucky at home.
Is that what it was? Yeah, you're
Yep.
right. They did.
Yep.
Florida's playing right now against Ole Miss, but
Yeah.
they're comfortably in the lead.
Yeah.
Um,
Ole Miss too. I've watched a couple of Ole Miss games. They're not. They're not. You know what I mean?
no, they're not. I like the Padula kid, but
Yeah.
but
They're
you
not.
know,
Yeah.
sorry, dude, you're white. You're not
Yeah. That's
competing.
it. Yeah. That's
Very,
it.
very rare does the white dude. Just as a side note, Duke is up 11 right now on UNC, so
Oh man.
not terrible. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Missouri, they lost. It wasn't a blowout, but Kentucky beat them.
It was a blowout in the
Pretty good.
beginning because I was
Was
following
it?
it at halftime. They were down by like 20 or something like that.
Okay. All right. So Missouri's next. Yeah, I'm not afraid of Missouri at
Yeah.
all. I don't think they're a dark horse. I think they're
No,
a
like
good,
you said,
solid team.
you shut down the haircut, man. It's over.
It's not the haircut's weird. If he doesn't shoot, if he doesn't make threes, if Cody whatever grills, if he doesn't make
Yeah.
threes, they're they're tough. Give them
Mhm.
credit. They've had a great year, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know
Who's
what
next?
I forgot what the name of that the center is, but he's really good. Malik Williams or something like that, or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's really good. But yeah, outside
Yeah.
of that, like I said, he shut down that three. They can't really score. Oh, what do we got? Number seven is Ole Miss. Yeah,
Yeah, we just talked about them. Nothing.
yeah. No, same thing as Mississippi State, man. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
nothing.
next.
Nothing real
Next is
good.
Mississippi State, number eight. I feel like those teams are like the same.
So I think we can just say, go ahead, read after Mississippi State. Just read them off real quick. The last few.
Uh, After Mississippi State, it's just Arkansas. Oh
Okay.
no, Vandy and Arkansas.
Okay.
Vandy's the nine, Arkansas is 11.
Arkansas is an interesting team
Mm.
because obviously we just talked about Kentucky.
Yeah,
John Calipari goes from Kentucky, where it wasn't the greatest of exits, right? It was a little bit,
yeah, a little
he didn't
choppy.
get fired, but it was kind of like, hey, he kind of saw the writing on the wall and said, it's my
Mhm.
time to go. He takes a few of those players, goes to Arkansas, gets the guy I really like from FAU, Donnell Jones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
really like him from FAU. He gets
yeah,
the big guy goes with him that was at Kentucky,
yeah.
the
Visage or
Serbian dude or
whatever.
whatever. But they've kind of underperformed, right? I mean, they were halfway through the year. There was talks that they might not even make the tournament. Now they've
Yeah,
turned it around lately, and they're obviously going to be in, and
yeah.
but they could be a team. I don't know. Calipari's of that old Tom Izzo, Calipari, Rick Pitino, that old school mindset. They don't shoot a lot of threes.
Hmm.
And that's really kind of the way college basketball, even the NBA is going, but like that's really the way college basketball is going.
Yeah,
Alabama, teams like that, they throw up a zillion three
a
pointers,
zillion. Yeah.
and most of them are good shooters. And if they even have an average shooting night,
Mm.
it's the same thing as the Golden State Warriors or the Boston
Yeah,
Celtics or teams
yeah,
like that. The pace, like it's the same. So those three coaches and Arkansas specifically, that's what makes. We'll get to St. John's in the Big East, but like
yeah,
that's what makes all that stuff more impressive. So,
yeah.
um, but Arkansas, I don't know. So that's it for the SEC. Isn't Georgia in? I thought Georgia was in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I missed them because I didn't put them down.
I think they might be the last one. I think they're part of the. Here, I got it right here.
Oh yeah, I'm missing three.
So
Well,
Georgia's is so as of right now,
yeah,
Georgia and Arkansas have they're going to miss the play-in games. They're the last four buys that are going to miss
yeah,
in a good way miss the play-in games.
yeah,
Oklahoma and then Oklahoma was that last one.
yeah,
Oklahoma was that last one. So
yeah,
um, Texas is still out as of now, and that's it. So yeah, so that's it. We got it. But that would be pretty unprecedented
yeah.
if they get more than 11 teams in the SEC.
Yeah, and they
So
got, you know what I mean? Like usually like teams, the conferences get a bunch of teams and stuff. I mean, there's legit, I mean, three to maybe four that could win it all.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, you know?
yeah. Well, I think Auburn, Florida, Tennessee. I think
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
that,
you're
you
reaching,
know,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think anybody's
Yeah.
right. Would you agree
No,
with that?
yeah, I really don't think anybody. I just could, but you know what I mean? It's like someone gets hot, man. You know, as a you
Alabama,
fan, man.
sorry, I just disrespected the whole state of Alabama. I think Alabama is still in that conversation.
Oh, I didn't
So
even
let's
have
say,
them on there. That's why you forgot because I didn't even put them on there.
oh, that's what we forgot.
That's
So,
why you forgot. It was my
and we've
fault.
already talked about them a little bit. Like they're kind of the same with Kentucky. They do
Yeah.
play better defense
Yeah.
than they did last year, but they're still not a
Yeah.
great defensive team. They
No.
were there last year, right?
Yeah.
Marcus Sears and those guys were there last year.
Hmm.
Nate Oates is an excellent, excellent coach.
Hmm.
Love his outfits. He's always dressed up well.
Yeah. Yeah. To T. Yeah.
But they're another team. I think I heard a stat that they've scored 90 points or more,
Yeah.
the most in the entire NCAA by like 6 or 7 times. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
they can totally put points up. They were
Yeah.
there last year in the Final Four.
Hmm.
So, so I think out of those 4, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama,
Yeah.
anybody outside of that,
Yeah.
no thanks. I don't.
Yeah, I think Alabama depends on that white dude. What's his name? Graham Nelson or
Mm.
whatever his name is.
The white dude, Grant. Yeah, Grant Nelson.
Yeah, I think it depends on him because they don't really have a center, and that's
Yeah,
what they need.
true.
They need somebody inside.
They play small ball, fast small ball. Yeah, and
That's
if
what.
you look
Yeah,
at Florida, if you look at Florida, Tennessee, and on Auburn, they got some length, dude. They got some length.
exactly. Yeah,
Fucking Janai Broom is he's like
ridiculous. He had 30
ginormous.
something again today.
And it's he reminds me, and this is a maybe a bad comp, especially nowadays, and people aren't going to love this, but he reminds me of Joel Embiid. Not necessarily the whole package, but Joel Embiid never looks like he's moving quickly at all.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Kind of like
yeah,
the whole Luca thing too. Like they never look
yeah,
like they're moving fast or quickly.
mhm,
Same with Jokic,
yeah,
but they're like extremely good at their craft, right? And they know
yeah,
exactly what they can and can't do. Janai Broom just like he just gets to his spot, you know what I mean? And he
yeah.
owns that
It's slow
spot. So
motion too, man. Like you
yeah,
said, it's slow. It's
yeah,
really just doesn't look hard for him.
yeah. Um, did you do the breakdown for the other conferences?
I did. You want to know? First of all, you want to know my comp in my league? What they gave
Go
me for
ahead.
my comp?
Yeah.
Draymond Green / Peyton Pritchard.
For who?
For me, that's my comp in
Oh,
my
for
league.
you. Oh, for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because
for those listening,
I get technicals and
Dan is in a
elbows.
basketball league himself, so the
They gave it to
stats
me
are
last
going up,
week.
man.
Yeah, yeah, they gave it to me last week. They said I figured out where your comp is.
That's not a bad comp, dude.
Yeah, I'll take
You
it all day.
you know me, I'm a huge Draymond. I'm a Golden State Warrior fan. I love me
Yeah,
some Draymond Green.
yeah, yeah.
All antics aside. So, all right,
Uh,
where do you want to go next? You want to go? Let's go to the Big East next.
Okay, all right, yeah,
Let's
we
do
could do
that.
the Big East. The Big East is it would be short and fast, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I want, if you don't mind, talk. They got Xavier on the 12 line, just making it in, and I think they're a sneaky good team, man.
Xavier?
I've watched a lot of their games, obviously.
Yeah, right.
I have a little more bias but Zach Fremantle is a really good player. He's
Right.
a four that can shoot, dribble, and all that. And then the two dudes they have as shooters is Conwell and Maddox, and they could shoot the lights out of contested threes.
Okay. All right. So as of right now, I don't disagree with that, by the way. And I've always kind of thought they were a good team. But as of right now, Xavier is playing Oklahoma. They would
Yeah,
be playing Oklahoma
yeah.
in the play-in game, which I think
Yep.
is a very intriguing matchup. I
Hmm.
really think that's a very intriguing matchup. Um,
And you got opposites to me, like so I wrote Xavier's won six in a row. They're 20 win team. Oklahoma, like I said, they're 2-7 in their last nine.
yeah,
Like all these things that the committee needs to take into.
Xavier's hot.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Because Fremantle was out for a couple games and all that stuff. And like I've seen, I've been to the Xavier UConn games. Like I've seen Xavier. Sean Miller is a great coach.
Yes,
He's a phenomenal coach.
yes, he is. He very much is. All right, well, let's go down. We'll start with the top ranked Big East team, and it's of course St. John's. Who listen, I know you're a UConn fan, and I'm sorry, but dude, I really like St. John's. I
Yeah.
love their whole style. I love Kadari Richmond.
Mhm.
I'm a big Patino fan. They just have they're like the perfect New York team. You know what I mean? We talk about a lot in like the NFL and the NBA, like
Mhm.
to be a quarterback on a New York team or to be in that media circuit, it's just a whole different animal from some of the smaller markets. And I think the same thing is true with college basketball. Maybe not on the same exact level, but he was just on like Jimmy Fallon or something like that the other night.
Oh, that's so
Uh,
funny. Did you see it? You saw
I
it?
know I didn't see it, but I was just hearing about it.
Hysterical. They made a song. You got to see it.
Oh, I did hear the song.
It's
Yes, it's like
hysterical.
yes, I did hear the song. Yes.
So funny.
But that's what I mean. Like they're the perfect like New York team. They play suffocating defense.
Yeah.
They don't shoot threes much, but they
Mm.
just kill you in the mid range. They
Mhm.
kill you in the paint. They kill you in the mid range, and their defense is suffocating. Um, it seems like Kadari Richmond can get to anywhere he wants for a mid range jumper, and he's going to hit it, 75% of the time. It seems like that anyway. So,
Yeah.
do they have enough stopping power to go real deep? I mean, if I'm being honest, I think they can make it to a Final Four. I don't know if they can win the final. You know what I mean? Like
I
I
think
just
today showed a lot. And just, as a UConn fan, like
huge game.
for me anyways, man, like I respect good game. You know what I mean? And they play good freaking basketball. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I hate Creighton. I hate Stephen
Right.
Ashworth. He's a punk.
Oh, I don't
But
like Creighton.
the
Creighton's
way,
soft.
yeah, that's it. The way that St. John's plays basketball, I
Mhm.
love that, man. I love the
So
defense and all that. It's like
so
it's amazing.
so what's interesting is they would play Towson
Mm,
first, which Towson is in Maryland. I don't know if you know much about Towson, but Towson is a sneaky decent you know
yeah,
mid-major team. Like they're not. Do I think St. John's going to lose? Absolutely not. I really don't. But Towson's a sneaky team. Then they would play the winner of it's still up in the air, but either Louisville's on the 6 line. So the
yeah,
other game in that little 4-team bracket would be Louisville or either San Diego State or Indiana. We're not
yeah,
sure who's going to be on that 11 line yet, but they would play the winner of that. Those are not. I mean, Louisville's a what
yeah,
a turnaround Louisville's had this year,
yeah.
right? Like
Crazy,
what a
yeah.
freaking turnaround from last year. And I know Indiana's had so many problems. I mean, Mike Woodson's like on his way out already.
That's what both those places though. You got Patino leaving crazy circumstances, and like what's you know what I mean? Like both those places were
Yeah.
wrecks.
And they play San Diego, and then it could be San Diego State, who was in the Final Four 2 years ago,
Yeah,
right? Really tough team. So but I could see them getting through that bracket. I could see them making a deep run. I just don't know if they have anything much past the Final Four, only because when you have the ability to hit the 3-pointer with regularity, that's
yeah,
such a game changer. We see it all the time in the NBA with that's
yeah.
such a game changer. So if
Mhm.
you're going up a team, against a team that can shoot the threes and has decent defense, you know what I mean? It's a tough it's just tough. So, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm curious. Like I said, today's game against Marquette, I watched, and dude, like just their tenacity to not give up and to get that win. Because everything in my head before that game started, I had Marquette winning that game
Yeah.
because I just they needed more senior day, all that,
Yeah.
and like they
Tough couple
played.
days for Marquette.
Yeah, yeah, like that was, that was a big win to me. And I'm just curious though, like, if they play Alabama who puts up 90 points, what happens? Because they haven't put up 90 points.
Yeah. Who's the next team in the Big East?
We got St. John's 3, Marquette at a 6.
So we talk about Marquette. I
Yeah,
love Shaka Smart.
love them.
Like Cam Jones is a great guard.
Great.
I Marquette again. They're just in a different tier. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to say it, and I hate saying that, but like I feel like on paper and when you watch them when they're at their best, it's like wow, like this team is
Mhm.
is excellent, right? It's
Mhm.
hard to beat, but I don't know, they just
Yeah.
seem to fall short more often than not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got to, because like with him, like his big, like he doesn't do transfers or any of that
Yeah,
stuff. It's like he's gonna have to switch that to be
that's
relevant.
the way of the world this year. Yeah,
You don't need, what I mean? You just need one guy or another, what I mean? Like they need size. They got
right.
Ben Gold. He's not a big man. You know what I mean? He shoots threes. He's out on the perimeter.
Yeah,
They need size. They haven't had size. Even last year when they had Kolek, they had Iguodaro. He's not big either. You know what I mean? They haven't had size. There's no inside outside game. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, who's next?
We got Creighton and UConn both are at eights.
So we can blow past Creighton real quick. We already said it. We
Yeah,
don't. Neither of us believe in Creighton.
yeah,
Stephen Ashworth's like 37 years old. It's time for you to get out of college, dude.
yeah.
Um,
I can't stand him. I really can't.
Kalkbrenner, cool. Like you're cool. You're a
Yeah,
good big for college who
yeah,
will get absolutely eaten up in the NBA if you
yeah.
decide to go.
No, he's
The
gonna
only
make a
thing with
great.
Creighton is they can shoot the three.
Yeah,
That's it. They can shoot the
yeah,
three.
yeah.
But I think we can, unless you have any words on Creighton, we can
No,
move on.
no. I mean, it's always funny to me how they say it's a pro, like Creighton never falls. It's always da, da, da. I said that means they don't play good defense.
Yeah, and by the way, you're in the Big East. You're from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah,
Come on. Now I know like conference realignment and all that stuff is
yeah,
different nowadays,
yeah,
but like, come on, you're
yeah,
from Nebraska.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
all
That's
right,
fun.
let's talk about UConn. Talk to me, Dan. Sell
Yeah.
me on UConn.
Oh, sell you on UConn. I mean, to me, the biggest factor, I'm feeling, middle of the season or even a couple of games ago, man, I was down. I was like, we might not make the tournament, and all along I was like, they're gonna put us in no matter what. to try to run at a three-peat. We
Right.
would really have to play ourselves out.
Yeah.
And Terrace Reed, man, because that's like our offense is predicated. The last 2 years, we won a title on a big man inside, and not just a big man that can score. And Terrace Reed can do that and be that guy. And
Okay.
Samson Johnson goes back to being that change of pace. And I feel like that's huge. And now officially Caravan is out of the Villanova woes and out of his head. And that's enormous because he's averaging 15, whatever,
Yeah.
20 points a
Yeah. He's
game.
playing good lately. Yeah.
I feel like that's, because you had McNeely and Ball. They've been doing their thing the whole time they've been playing. And, McNeely missed 8 games.
So let me back up a second. I didn't know much about this McNeely character.
Yeah.
He's apparently super highly touted, though, right?
Oh, yeah. He might go top 10 in the NBA.
Is he going to be a one and done, or is he going to come back
Yeah,
next year?
they say that. I feel like he should come back. He missed eight
Yeah.
games. He's not really physically ready for the
Right.
NBA.
Right.
But I mean, they would take him, because he's got all the tools, man. He does. He
Huh?
really does. He took over that Creighton game, scored
'Cause
30
he was
something points.
hurt in the beginning of the season, right? Because I remember when he
Middle of the
came back,
season.
they were like, "Oh, McNeely's back," and I was like, "Who?"
Yeah.
And they just are very highly touted. So you gotta love a white dude with a headband though, tearing it up. Gotta kind
Yeah,
of like
Marcus calling him. I forgot what
gotta
Mark
kind of
Mark had a nickname.
let alone a white dude, but a nice Irish
Yeah,
dude, McDonald, McNeely. We got to rep for
yeah,
our Irish folks. So
yeah. And I
um,
I just think, man. So you got Caravan missed 4 games in the beginning of the season. McNeely missed 8 games after that. You know what I mean? So that's
right.
12 games without a full complement of players. And now they're kind of I feel like Terrace Reed is a big part of it because now he's actually playing and stuff. But I mean, I just don't, solo ball can shoot the lights out. McNeely can take people one on one. If Caravan can hit his threes, they have a chance. I
Yeah,
would never, you know what I mean? I wouldn't put, but this would be like UConn as an 8 seed with Shabazz Napier winning the title. It's not,
yeah.
you know what I mean? No one's expecting it at all.
Well, so here's the bad news then for
Yeah.
you, Dan, and your
Yeah.
UConn. You play as of right now, if it doesn't change, you're gonna play Vanderbilt, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
yes, you should beat Vanderbilt, and I wouldn't be surprised if the line on that is like 10 points, right?
Yeah.
But that's not an easy first game. And then if you beat Vanderbilt, unless Quinnipiac or Southeast Missouri State
Did you just call it Quinnipiac?
You're gonna have to play Duke in the second round.
Did you call it? Was that Quinnipiac that you're trying to say?
Quinnipiac. Is that how they
That's
say it?
Hamden, Connecticut, man. Come on.
What is it? How do you say it?
Quinnipiac.
What I don't know. Yeah. So mea culpa for anybody who's going to get in the mentions about me mispronouncing that.
Great
Sorry to all
private
the
school, by the way.
Quinnipiac fans. I know you're out there in numbers and droves, but yes, unless they right now it's I think it looks like they are in. Hold on, let me just look. It looks like they are part of that. Yes. So as of right now, Quinnipiac. Did I say that right? Quinnipiac.
Yes.
And they're from New Hampshire.
No, Hamden, Connecticut. It's like
Oh, Hamden,
literally 20
Connecticut. Oh,
minutes away from where I
oh,
grew
so
up.
that's like, dude, they're like hungry for it. They're gonna play Southeast Missouri State in the play-in tournament, and whoever wins that game gets to play Duke. So if you
Yeah.
beat Vanderbilt,
Yeah.
you got to play Duke. Which, listen, I know that people are like, oh, you want to get favorable matchups, and you can get a later run in the
Yeah.
tournament, and you're hoping that the better teams get beat by that point. But like, you're gonna have to go through them at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I just really,
Give it to me early,
yeah, I just
early,
don't. So like
right?
the way that it seeds up now in the Big East tournament, UConn was on the 4 line and they were going to play St. John's in the semis, and now they're on the 3 line, so they can make it to the title game
Yeah.
and play St. John's there. And everyone that they'll play along the way, they've already beaten. So if I just feel like they're not going to be an 8. They're going to be
Okay.
a 7 or a 6. That's
Okay.
what I mean. I feel like that because they're definitely going to win at least one game in the Big East tournament.
Yeah.
And I feel like that brings them up to a 7.
So as of right now, then, if you go to the 6,
Yeah.
you'd be in the little mini bracket with now obviously one of these teams that I'm about to mention wouldn't be in this mini bracket because
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
UConn, but if you go to the 6, you'd be replacing Illinois as the
Mhm,
6th seed.
mhm.
UC San Diego, Iowa State, Northern Colorado.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
better in the
Yeah.
moment. If you go to the 7 seed, you'd be bumping BYU,
Mhm.
which they're hot right now,
Yeah.
and you'd be in a mini bracket with Ohio State, Alabama, and South Alabama. So
Yeah.
whatever, Alabama's
Yeah,
tough. I think you're hoping for that 6 seed, I think is
yeah.
the
I feel like it's a huge difference.
if
I
that's
feel
the
like
highest you can go, I think
yeah,
that's a pretty darn good. Because
yeah,
like, I would take UConn over Iowa State
yeah,
any day right now, and Iowa
yeah,
State's a 3 seed. I
yeah,
don't trust Iowa State
no,
to go deep either.
yeah.
Northern Colorado, UC San Diego, right? So,
As an 8, I don't think there's a chance. You know what I mean? I feel like
okay.
Duke's good, man.
Alright. Very good. Alright, who's next in the Big East?
So we did Creighton, we walked over, and then Xavier. So we've talked about Xavier
We
a little
talked
bit.
about Xavier. Yeah.
Yeah,
Watch out for them, dude. Watch
yeah,
out for them.
yeah. I feel like they could sneak up, man. They
Yep.
really could. Those teams that get hot. I mean, man,
Yeah.
you win those games in a row, they could win. I mean, Xavier is going to play in the 4 or 5 game in the Big East tournament against Marquette, and the winner of that will play St. John's. I mean, I feel like
Right.
they could beat St. John's. Like you just don't know, man.
Is that the last Big East team, or is there one more?
Yeah, no, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go Big Ten.
Right. Oh, we got a big plethora here
Well,
at
here,
once.
hold on. Before you go to the teams that are already in. Um,
I actually listed them all too this time.
as of right now, Ohio State is the one of in the last four of they're gonna miss the play in, and they're in the tournament.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Big Ten.
Yeah.
You have Indiana is is the last four in, so they're in right now safely, especially
Mhm.
with their win today.
Yeah.
And then you have first four out Nebraska from the Big Ten,
Mhm.
so they're out right now. Did they win today?
I do not know.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Who's the number one ranked that you have in?
The Big Ten, I got Michigan State's a 2.
All right, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on Michigan State while I look up
Yeah. I mean,
Nebraska, and then I'll.
Yeah, Michigan State, point number one, Tom Izzo. He's a legend. But the guy Carr, his athletic ability is ridiculous. They got a big dude Kohler down low. I mean, they got a point guard. I mean, that they have all the utensils. I
Yeah.
just their offense is not enamoring. You know what I mean? But they play solid basketball. Tom
Right.
Izzo basketball. So I feel like it's just and they've been tested. They've played a lot of teams on the road, getting wins back and forth. And, there's just always a
Oh,
contender. You just don't know.
so Nebraska lost today,
Mm,
or excuse me, no, Nebraska plays Iowa, not Iowa State. They play Iowa tomorrow.
Yeah. At
They
home
play
or
Iowa tomorrow. So that's right. They lost that overtime game last week to Ohio State. Um,
oh yeah,
sorry.
I
Go
remember
ahead.
that.
Back to Michigan State. I apologize.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean Michigan State, they just play solid, well-rounded basketball. I just don't know if they're when they beat Maryland on the buzzer beater here recently, Maryland's fast tempo
Which
offense.
was epic.
Yeah, oh, so epic, dude. And but like Illinois, like teams that run fast-paced offense, Michigan State is not geared for that. That'd be their only bugaboo, is if they play an SEC team pretty much.
Right. I really like Michigan State. They got what's crazy is Richard Jefferson obviously played for Izzo, right, at
Hmm.
Michigan State, and they won two regular season conference championships. And now Izzo has Richard Jefferson's son on the team, and they just
Hmm.
won. So he's got
So
11. Not Patino. Izzo's got 11 in total,
mhm.
and three of them are Jefferson kids. I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. I think
Cool.
Tom Izzo's dominance over the Big Ten is just unprecedented. I mean, really and truly unprecedented. They're a scary team.
Yeah.
They would be when we get to it. They're going to be one of my. I don't even know if you call them a dark horse, but they're going to be one of my teams that are not on that. Um, I think we said they're on the
I
two
feel like
line right now.
anybody not in the SEC is a dark horse.
Yeah, that's good. That's good too. Uh, but I really like them. I think they're scary. I think they're extremely well coached. I think they just are tough. They're quick. They're fast. They got some length. I think they got the whole package. So I could see them easily get not easily, but I could definitely see them getting to, um, you know, uh, a Final Four. I could totally see that. So let me see where I have them right now.
I love seeing the coaches like Izzo that have been around forever adapt
Right.
instead of retiring. adapt to what the style
Yeah,
is. I think that takes such,
yeah.
I mean, really such fortitude to give in and to change and to adapt to the times. That's awesome.
So they're in a mini bracket with they would play Robert Morris
Oh, there we
to
go.
start off. So
Go,
and then they
Robert.
have Georgia and Memphis play the other game. So
Yeah.
Memphis would be a tough matchup. Memphis is good. We'll get to Memphis and Penny
Hmm.
Hardaway's crew, but yeah, I like Michigan State. So
Yeah.
all right, who's next in the Big Ten?
Oh, next in the Big Ten, we got Wisconsin out of three and Iowa State are out of three too. I mean, both those teams to me are the same thing. Wisconsin, did they? I think
I
they
think
got,
I gotta say I like Wisconsin more than I do Iowa State.
yeah, but I think Wisconsin got beat today by
Yeah,
somebody not good. I forgot who it was.
I'll
Uh,
look it up.
Yeah. Oh man, who I forgot. But yeah, I mean, the same thing. Iowa State. It's just pretty much the same team as last year. They don't scare me at all. They don't have the off. They play so inconsistent that there's nothing that you fear really. And I mean, to me, it comes back to a coaching thing. If you play so inconsistent,
Right.
if players aren't injured and you're playing inconsistent like that, it just that doesn't. It has to fall on the coach. Wisconsin has a
So
good coach, though. I like him.
with yeah, Wisconsin got beat by Penn State today, pretty by
Yeah,
11 points. Yeah,
at home.
yeah, at home. You're absolutely right.
That's wild.
Was it at home? Yes, it was at home. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it was at home. Like
Yeah,
that's the one, Penn State upset a couple teams at home, but like
yeah.
on the
I do
road.
like the John Tonji kid. He's
Yeah.
one of those. He's one of those cool stories. Went to JUCO, or
Hmm.
actually, you know what? I don't know if he went to JUCO, but I know he didn't start at Wisconsin. I know he like
Yeah.
worked his way up.
Yeah.
Um, you
Division two
know,
or something like that.
through different colleges and some lower major colleges, and was not highly touted. I think I remember early in the season he was like the when they do the rankings of everyone who transferred that year, like, oh, this is the number one transfer
Yeah,
ranking. He was
yeah,
like in the 300s. You know what I
yeah.
mean? He wasn't
I
even on
love that.
people's radars. So I do like him. Yeah, and Iowa State, same thing. Tough team. Give them
Mm.
credit. Good defense.
Yeah.
Don't think they have enough offense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
nothing
it's just
scares me.
I don't know if it's like athletic ability or what, man, or it's like, it's just like the
Yeah,
inability to adapt to the times and stuff. Like they're good enough, like Gonzaga, they're good enough to beat teams and have great regular seasons, but there's nothing that adapts to
right,
postseason winning.
right. So we would go here. Let me just look at this real quick. Wisconsin is in a little mini bracket with they would play Chattanooga. Again, this is all as of now. This could change a little bit.
Yeah,
They would play Chattanooga. They should easily win that game. Then they would play either Arkansas or St. Mary's. Not an easy matchup.
no.
Both teams playing tough. Not an easy matchup. So, all right, who we got next in the Big East or Big Ten?
So next we got Maryland and Purdue at fours.
Yeah, take Purdue, take
Mm.
them away.
Yeah,
Not scary.
yeah. Have you watched Maryland at all?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
That
my
big that,
my
that
I got a
big
big
dude.
shout out to the Terrapins. My entire wife's side of the family, they're huge
Oh,
Maryland Terrapin
all
fans.
right. Yeah, my neighbor growing up went to
Yeah, they're
Maryland.
good. Derek Queen's a beast.
He's a beast, man. He's
They're
so
good.
young.
They're very, very good. Um,
He looks like
they
12.
they are one of those teams on the 4 seed that's like, yo,
Hmm.
they could go deep. I think so. I really do. They're well coached. They're
Yep.
playing with a lot of energy right now and a lot of momentum.
Hmm.
They could go deep. I agree.
Those dudes hit big buckets, man. I forgot what that one dude's name is, but he was hitting big threes. That
Yeah,
Michigan State game and stuff. They just
yeah,
come to you can, like when you watch teams, you can see the confidence in them.
yeah.
Whether that's from
Big
their
time.
coach or where you can see it. That they're like we're supposed to win this game. Not we're trying to.
And they're in a really good they would as of now, they would play Liberty, and then they're in the other game is Missouri versus Yale. So they if they beat Liberty, they would play Missouri or Yale.
Yeah, that's a solid draw.
It's a solid draw to get them
Yeah.
into the 16 round of 16. So
Where is that? Is that in the East or is that Midwest?
that's East, yes. Yeah,
East.
so they're in your
I got it. Yeah.
they're with Duke and UConn
Yeah.
and that whole thing. Now, could they go up from the 4? It depends on how they do in their conference tournament.
Yeah, I think they should stay. You know what I mean? They should be happy to stay at four.
Yeah. If
That's
they
like,
if somehow they were to switch with Iowa State and go to the 3,
yeah,
because Iowa State's currently 3, they'd be with the Northern Colorado, and then they'd be the UC San Diego or Illinois, or that was the bracket we were saying
yeah,
if
yeah,
UConn gets to
yeah,
6, they would
yeah,
replace Illinois. So
yeah,
I think you're right. I think take Liberty, and you gotta suspect Missouri BTL, and you want to take Missouri after that. I think that's a
yeah. How
good
about
lineup.
Yale? Yale as a 12, man. Look like Yale
Yeah,
is coming in at 12.
I know. So, all right, who's next in the Big Ten?
All right, we did Maryland and Iowa State, so then we got force and I did of course I didn't do them in numerical order. Michigan's 5 and Oregon's a 5.
Let me start with Oregon, just because I think they'll be quicker.
Yeah,
Oregon, if you remember again, started out like 12-0. They were one of those teams in the beginning of the year.
yeah.
They were undefeated and they were just winning everything.
Hmm.
And a lot of the people said like we just don't know if they got enough juice. And they sure enough they didn't. They faltered.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I don't really have much else to say on Oregon except like great start to the season. I think they're a really good team.
Hmm.
They do not scare me though if I'm getting matched up with them in the tournament.
Yeah, I've watched 3 of their games and there's no consistency.
Right.
Uh I've seen them at the end of games where they go in a flurry and they'll catch up and they'll tie the game and stuff like that, but they don't play 40 minutes of that. And I don't think they can. I haven't seen it, you know what I mean? And who's they got one guy from Villanova got with the transferred over that point guard that he brought toughness to that team because that's the one thing that that team definitely lacks
Yeah.
is toughness. They have no
Yeah.
toughness at all.
They would play the either Xavier or Oklahoma right now, and
Yeah.
then they would have either Arizona, most likely Arizona, because Arizona plays Lipscomb. So
Yeah, there you go. We'll get that
uh,
upset. Caleb Love.
Michigan, Michigan's intriguing.
Yeah. Two
They
seven
got
footers.
the two 7-footers. They got a great coach. Michigan's intriguing.
Yeah, I love it. Danny Wolf is impressive. For a 7 footer, do you see the way that guy moves is
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. And then Vlad Golden, obviously from FAU, followed
Yeah,
him over from FAU.
yeah. You would think though that they're, you know what I mean, like they would be better than what they are with 2 7 footers. But it's back to the guys just got together this year. They haven't been a team.
Well, I think they were. So, like, for a while there, up until, like, a week ago, they were neck and neck with Michigan State.
Yeah,
It was up until the game they played when they played each other recently and
yeah.
Michigan State beat them, like,
Hmm.
2 Fridays ago. Um, you know what I mean? Like, they were neck and neck, and they've kinda faltered a little bit here recently, but, I mean,
I was watching that game and it was pretty much if Golden didn't score, no one scored.
that's not a team that I really would wanna see. They've lost a few recently. They've lost to Maryland and Illinois,
Yeah,
lost to recently. They do play Michigan State again tomorrow. I think Michigan State's already locked up
yeah.
the regular season, but that would be a huge win,
Hmm.
possibly bump them up. But they lost to Maryland, Illinois recently, and then they beat Rutgers and Nebraska. But yeah, they go back and they lost really up until February 21st when they played Michigan State. They were right there. Like
Yeah,
they were both neck and neck.
yeah.
Michigan State kept winning. And they've dropped 2 out of the next 4, so that's kind of where the discrepancy goes. But let's see what happens tomorrow. That game's on at noon tomorrow, so that'll be a
Yeah.
great game on CBS.
They they just look different. Like I don't know if you watched games before and after, like before and after they lost to Michigan State. Now
Mhm.
they look like they're playing timid. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
a little
before
bit,
they played confident, and
a
now
little
it's
bit.
like a panic. You
Yep,
know.
yep. All right, who's next in the Big Ten?
All right, we got our boys Illinois at number 6. I don't have much to say on them because they're not going to be
Yeah. Um, what's the kid's name on Illinois that's really good?
The white dude.
Yeah, what's his name?
Ivancevich, no. It's a J, right? Starts with a J.
Here, I got it right
Jerkovich.
here. Oh no,
Jasmonovich.
Is it I can't say it. It's like
Yeah.
Jakachunas or something.
Yeah, Jack Tunis. Yeah,
Jakachunas.
there you
That's it.
go. Yeah,
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 he's good. He's
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Illinois was banging on the door for a while earlier in the year. They kind
Yeah.
of, again, like you said, they've kind of faltered a little bit.
Mm.
Um, The Kylan Boswell kid I like as well.
Mhm.
They've kind of faltered a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not really scared on them at all.
Yeah, I'm not, you know what I mean? I just really don't, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, after being in Boston and watching UConn beat them by 30 and watching Brad Underwood literally have Coleman Hawkins go at Donovan Clingan the whole
Yeah,
entire first half and
yeah,
not change the game plan at all, I'll never have confidence Illinois can do anything at all because that was the
yeah,
dumbest coaching move in the history of the NCAA.
yep,
It's
yep. Still
idiotic.
though, interesting mini bracket to watch because that's the team that UConn could potentially bump out of the sixth seed. But
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now they're in a very right now Illinois is in a very favorable mini bracket playing UC San Diego, and then as of now they would play the winner of Iowa State, Northern Colorado in the round of 32. So they
yeah,
could
I
get a
see it.
couple wins and go to the Sweet 16. So
Yeah, and then also playing familiarity. You know, if they
right,
played at
right,
Iowa State, they know Iowa State.
yep, yep.
That's a huge advantage.
So all right, who's next?
They'll make me eat my words.
Yeah, right.
We got Mick Cronin at number 7, UCLA.
Did you hear that thing earlier in the year? He was all pissed
About flying.
about flying and having to see the Statue of Liberty like 8 times or whatever
Yeah,
he
yeah.
Yeah.
I love
They
him though, man.
way better than last year. They missed the tournament last year,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I don't nothing to say there.
No, yeah, I just you know, I mean, I think what they did in the Big Ten for their his first year in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's super impressive. You know what I mean? Because that's a total different travel ball game. I mean, he is right. That's total different, you know?
They're matched up with Baylor right now,
Yeah.
first round, 7 and a 10 seed, and then they would have to play the winner of Central Connecticut and Tennessee. So,
Oh, Connecticut's all over, baby.
Central Connecticut yeah, there's nothing else to do up there but play
Yeah,
basketball.
Yale, Quinnipiac, UConn, Central Connecticut are just taking over.
Very true, very true. Alright, who's next?
Yeah, we got all right, so 7 right there, and then we got Ohio State at 10. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. We talked about everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ohio State at 10.
Yeah, they got 10 teams in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I think I would trust Ohio State a little more than a UCLA or an Illinois team. I don't know why. Um, what's his name? Greg Diebler, the coach.
Yeah.
He's racked up some big wins, man. Like
Well, they have Bradshaw full time now, the big dude.
it's a team that just seems to it just seems to, you know, win big games, right? It
Yeah.
just seems to win some big games. Now, obviously, they've lost some games and stuff like that, but I mean, they. I'm looking through their schedule here. Um, they beat, or excuse me, no, they lost. They beat Texas early in the year, which Texas is a bubble team now.
Mhm.
Um, they beat Kentucky. They beat Purdue. They beat who else? They beat. Hold on, I'm just going through. They beat Nebraska. So they've got some decent wins, but they've also you
Lost
know
it. Yeah.
they've lost a handful. But we'll
Mm.
see. We'll see. That's a big listen. 10 teams for the Big Ten that are in right now too. That's a huge deal. That's
Yeah.
a huge deal. So
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think it's pretty impressive, you know, and also you know, like just Ohio State has the Bradshaw's the Kentucky transfer, you know, so
yep,
that's it. And
yeah,
he didn't play a lot of the year. There was a big hoopla around here because of like allegations about him not he wasn't playing because of something.
right,
And that's a difference maker. But yeah, I mean, I feel like basically the Pac-12 becoming part of the Big Ten is cool,
yeah,
man. I think I love it.
yep. And you have them playing. They would play BYU, which is no
Hmm.
picnic, and then they would play Alabama most
Hmm.
likely because they're going to beat South Alabama. So,
Yeah.
um, okay, all right, let's do Big 12 now.
All right. So the Big 12, I had 8 teams in. Is that correct?
Yep, that's what I got. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely didn't write them all eight down though. But we got number one is Houston, which we
Spoiler alert: Houston's my pick to win the national championship.
yeah, yeah.
Seriously, they're just I don't know something about Kelvin Sampson, something about that team. John Cryer. Um, there's just something about that team. The big kid, the Edwards kid or whatever his name is, that's been there for like it's like his fifth year there.
Yeah.
Um, There's something about them. They're tough. They've been there before. I
Mhm.
think last year, if Jamal Shed doesn't get hurt, they go to the
Yeah,
Final Four.
agreed.
So they're my pick.
Yeah, they're hard nosed, man. They're tough, and Samson's a great coach, and it's just the same thing with them as last year. Is that if they have the offensive firepower, they can be the best team 100% easy, hands down.
Yeah,
You know, it's really just on that. They're going to play defense. They're going to rebound. They're going to out tough you. They're going to get the 50-50 balls, and if
right.
their offense is good enough, doesn't have to be great, then they're the best team.
And they play Omaha first
Yep.
as of now, and then they would play the winner of Mississippi State or Gonzaga. So not like the easiest second round in the world, but you know,
Yeah.
we haven't talked Gonzaga yet, but like we said earlier,
I'd
Mississippi
rather
State,
play
like
Gonzaga, the
take them or leave them.
Mississippi
Yeah,
State.
take them or leave them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, who's next in the Big 12?
Texas Tech is a two.
Texas Tech is sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech, they rebound like crazy, especially on the offensive glass.
Yeah,
I actually like Texas Tech. I'm a fan of them. The Red Raiders are getting it done, but I think we're already in that like again outside of the top SEC teams and a
yeah,
couple other teams, Houston. I just don't. The only thing is they would play Bryant College and then they would play either Ole Miss or Utah State.
yeah,
Both teams very good, by the
yeah,
way. Utah State is having an unbelievable year,
yeah.
but
And then after that, it would be you got Wisconsin, Arkansas, St. Mary's, and then Chattanooga. Those are all
yeah,
be like literally Texas Tech could easily make it to the Elite
yeah,
Eight.
yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So that's interesting there, but
Yeah.
we'll see who's next.
I definitely missed something somewhere. I know that for a fact because I only got one, two, three, four, five written down. I got
Yeah.
Arizona as a four.
Don't trust him.
No,
Caleb Love's a fraud.
no. I watched.
Tommy Lloyd's a good coach, but Arizona's California soft. Sorry to all the California listeners, but California's soft.
Yeah, and then I watched the whole game. Well, no, the second half today. Arizona and Kansas. Arizona's the better team. Than better
I'm gonna
than.
get hold on. I'm gonna get lit up because I just said California's soft. Arizona is soft. I don't know why I said California. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
lit up. It's been a
yeah.
long day, but they just don't have everything we just said about like Houston and some of those really tough teams. Like Arizona does not seem to have it.
Mhm,
Caleb Love could go off.
mhm,
He could also go, 3 of 15 from the field. So
yeah. So watching the end of that game, here's Arizona to the T. They're down by 7 points, 30 seconds left. What do you do, right? You got to follow. You got to extend the game because you got to win the game, right? What does
right,
the whole Arizona team do? Not follow, gives up.
yeah,
The coach is
yep,
screaming foul. No one follows because they're just like, oh, this game's over. Who cares?
yep,
I mean,
yep,
that sums it up right there.
yeah. You're absolutely right. So,
No fight.
all right, who's next?
All
Who
right.
who do you have?
Yeah. So next I got Kansas as an 8 seed.
Kansas is an interesting one, man. They've had such a weird year.
Mm.
I don't really believe in them. I don't. I don't. I think Hunter Dickinson's overrated.
Yeah.
Um, I do think they're better than an 8 seed. I know
Mm.
their schedule doesn't reflect that, but it's not a team I'd want to face. It's just not a team I'd want to face.
Yeah. No, I mean, just because they have the capability to put it together. Those are the teams that scare you. I mean, it's like, yeah, they had a rough season and all this stuff, but they have the capability to put
Yeah,
it together. And they've been in big time games.
yeah. Kansas would play New Mexico as of now, and then they'd have to play Auburn. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think.
assuming Auburn beats either Southern University or Bucknell,
How
which I
about
think
that? That'd be kind of spicy though. Little Hunter versus Jonai Broom.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
That'd be awesome.
Very true. All right, so you only had 5, so
Yeah, next I had Baylor at 10. I don't know who I'm missing here.
okay.
Missing somebody. Let's see.
Baylor's been kind of disappointing this year.
Yeah, yeah, they had that dude. Is that dude officially out for the season? The freshman that was nasty? Edgecombe? No, is it
Yeah,
Edgecombe?
VJ Edgecombe, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he was a big difference maker. If he was still in it, then they'd be all right. Yeah, I'm trying to see who I forgot here. Yeah, but Baylor, I don't really see, what I mean, anything crazy come for them. They do, that Omir is good. They have two big dudes, you know what I mean, that are really good inside.
Norchad Omir.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, they play Houston tonight, actually 10 p.m. tonight on ESPN.
yeah,
That would help their case. They beat TCU and Oklahoma State, but then they lost to Cincinnati and Colorado
yeah.
and Arizona, which the Arizona loss is not a horrible loss, obviously, because they're ranked, but like the Cincinnati and Colorado loss was pretty bad. And
Yeah.
um, then they lost to Houston a few weeks ago, early in February. That's to be expected. They were
Mhm.
kind of rolling, but then they lost to Texas Tech, who was ranked. So like they lost to BYU, who's now ranked. So they lost to like all the good teams essentially,
Mhm.
right? They were beaten,
Yeah,
and then they had a couple bad losses as well. So they beat Utah, they beat Kansas State. They did get a big win over Kansas
yeah.
early February, which
They
at the
were down by
time,
25 in that game, I
yeah,
think.
I remember watching that game, which at the time
Insane.
it was a big win because Kansas was ranked 11 at that time. So,
Mhm.
okay. All right, let's see who we got here else in the
Oh, West Virginia?
they would be what?
They're a 9 seed, West Virginia. They're in the Big 12, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a
Yeah,
9
you're right.
seed.
Yeah. They're playing Creighton,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they would have to play Norfolk State or Florida.
Yeah. And I've actually watched West Virginia this year too, and there's I mean, they don't really there's nothing.
Yeah. I know they got hot in the middle of the year and they were beating some teams, but
Yeah. And they're super hard to play at home. That arena is super hard to play at. So they had some wins there and stuff like that, but there's nothing, you know what I mean? There's
right.
no.
So let's see.
Is that everybody? What do we got?
Who
Yeah,
else do we have
I think that
in the
was it.
Big 12? I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Memphis, Georgia. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else. I think that's it.
Yep. So,
You're right.
all right. So that is all the power conferences. Let's touch real quick on the ACC, just
Yeah.
because we're running long here. We can
Yeah.
circle back up
And the
before
Mountain West
Selection
is
Sunday.
14, man.
ACC, you got Duke, you got Louisville, and Clemson.
Mm,
Louisville and Clemson are absolutely in a tier below Duke.
mm.
Duke is the aggregators of Duke would say that they're in a weak conference, which yes, they are, but they're beating everybody by like
Mm.
30 points. So that's what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do, right?
Mhm.
Now, if it was close games or OT games, like that'd be a different story.
Yeah.
But they're absolutely demolishing the teams that they're supposed to demolish. I haven't checked on my score tonight, but let's see. Uh, s- Breaking news, Danny
Uh-oh.
Paulson.
What do you got? What do you got?
Breaking news. UNC is currently leading by 5 points over Duke on ESPN right now with 14 minutes left in the second half. So,
Wow. That's
long way
crazy.
to go,
Yeah.
but we're going
Oh,
to get off
wow.
here pretty soon so I can go watch the rest of that game.
Yeah, it's
Duke is
13-55.
obviously the leading favorite in the ACC. I don't think there's really much of I just don't think there's really much of a
I don't think so either.
I think we've talked about already Cooper Flag. I got to say this, I'm not super impressed yet with Cooper Flag. I'm really not.
I don't think he's been challenged. You know what I mean? I really
Not
don't.
only that, I think if you're Cooper Flag, I know he's going to go to the NBA. I wouldn't though, man. I'd
Yeah.
love to see him stay one more year and just absolutely dominate. He's going to win National Player of the Year most likely as well,
Mhm.
but I don't know. And as of right now, those are the only three teams: Clemson and Louisville.
Yeah.
Clemson and Louisville don't scare me,
Yeah.
but they're the only three ACC teams in right now, which is really shocking because the ACC used to be,
I know. It's so wild, man.
so
I think Clemson's got a chance, though. They can make a little run.
Clemson's all right.
Yeah.
They're a very fundamentally sound
Yeah.
basketball team, very technical. But I
Yeah.
think sometimes in the deep throes of March, technicality needs to go out the window, and you just need the dogs.
Yeah.
You need the tough. You need the dogs.
The
So
white boy wonder goes bye-bye.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So Duke has Quinnipiac and Southeast Missouri State, and then they would
Mhm,
play as of now, again, this might change, but they would play the UConn Vanderbilt winner.
mhm,
And then let's see, let's just touch real quick on where is Louisville is in that they play either San Diego State or Indiana, and then they
yeah.
would play the St.
Ooh,
John's
St. John.
Towson winner.
Yeah,
And
and then
where's
Clemson's
Clemson
a
at? Why do I
5.
keep missing Clemson?
They're a 5 in the
Clemson's a 5. There, I got him. I got him. So they're
Midwest.
playing Drake. Shout out to Greg Phillips's Drake Bulldogs there. Clemson actually has a favorable. They would play Drake, and then they'd play the winner of
Yeah,
Purdue Akron.
Purdue,
So that's a
yeah, yeah,
decent little mini bracket right there.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
they'd have to go. They would be in that Houston Gonzaga bracket,
yeah.
depending on who wins. So
That'd be a real white boy battle, Purdue versus Clemson.
yeah, big time, big time. So um, all right. So let's say let's go to our who's your pick to win it all, and I'll give you two picks because
Mm.
I know your heart is gonna obviously want to go UConn, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like I can't, I mean, I don't even need to say that, obviously. But yeah, I mean, Florida, man. I mean, I think Florida. I watched
Really?
Florida a bunch of times
Okay.
too. Walter Clayton's a pro. He's
Okay.
a point guard and big man. You know what I mean? They run the floor. I feel like I just feel like they have all the tools all around. Where like Auburn has a great team and they have a good point guard. Florida has a great point
Great
guard,
point guard. Yeah, I would agree with that.
and I feel like that separates that. So I think Florida, just from watching them and stuff, they can put points, they can
Yeah.
bang you inside, they can do all the things. I feel like they check all the boxes.
So the heart says UConn
Yeah,
and the head says Florida. All right.
yeah,
So my I got Houston. I'm gonna pick Houston
mhm,
overall.
mhm,
I just think I just like them.
yeah,
Wouldn't be surprised if it's Florida. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Auburn. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Duke. Really and
mhm,
truly. Um, my heart's always going to be with UNC. I'm just
yeah,
hoping we get into the tournament right now.
yeah,
But Houston's my pick to win it all. In that second tier, not the sleeper pick, but in that second tier, I like Michigan State and St. John's.
mhm,
And then who did we say? And I think, dude, I think my sleeper pick, Maryland.
yeah, yeah. I go all in Big East outside if UConn can't win it. Like St. John's, dude, I'm all in. They can definitely do it. And I would say for me, like sleeper, like because St. John's is definitely not, a sleeper pick. I mean, Maryland's a good one, man. That's a good one. I mean, on a side note, I would love to see UNC beat Caleb Love in Arizona in the tournament.
Yes, that would be fun.
That'd be like the best. I could check out
That would
after.
be fun.
That would be amazing.
That would
I
definitely be
would
fun.
say, dude, I'm going off the rocker, right? Like sleeper, Arkansas.
Wow, dude, that's bold.
It's I
That's
just
bold.
I mean, because those dudes do have talent,
Yeah,
and they're gonna
they,
play when they want to play.
yeah,
And I feel like when I've seen the games where they play, they're freaking good.
yeah. They definitely have not gotten the most out of how much talent they have. I
No,
agree
yeah,
with that.
not even close. Yep.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, I want to, yeah, yeah. That's what. We'll stop there. We'll save the rest of it for another one. We'll do this again. So,
Yeah.
Selection Sunday is what is it? The 18th or the 17th? Right? It's that last.
Yeah.
So I know the tournament starts on Monday the 19th, right? Or excuse me, Wednesday the
No,
19th.
Wednesday. Yeah.
So Selection Sunday is the 16th.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hopefully, Big Danny will be in Madison Square Garden the 15th.
hopefully, maybe we can do live from Madison Square
Oh,
Garden.
that'd be tight, right? That'd be amazing.
We'll try to come back. I wouldn't mind trying to come back on the 15th at some point, or
Yeah.
even maybe on Sunday the 16th. I know family stuff. Maybe we can try to squeeze in and just
I'll
before
be
right.
I will definitely be in Connecticut, so we can do it whenever. I just gotta do it via
Okay.
phone, but I'll be able to. I won't
Yeah,
be.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We could even do it Sunday night, possibly,
Yeah, that's cool.
like as Selection Sunday's going on. That might be kind of cool to kind of come
I'm down.
We'll come from it live and as we're working our way. So good stuff, Danny. I appreciate this, man. I could talk.
Yeah.
I could sit here and talk
All
hours,
night, man. All
hours
night.
upon hours. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go see my Tar Heels beat up on those Blue Devils. So thank you to everybody who watches this, listens to this. Again, sorry if we mispronounced anything. Sorry if we got anything wrong. We are total amateurs that just love college basketball. Um, and we just love doing this. So thank you for supporting the Trudge Report. Please don't forget to tune in. Any extra special content we might be having coming soon. And then obviously, our main podcast drops Thursday mornings on all of your podcast listening platforms, wherever you may get your podcast. So thank you. Good night. God bless. And keep trudging, boys and girls.